Hey guys, what's up? It's Alex or Nuzz here, and welcome to another episode of Boss Battles. This is a series where we put two bosses up against each other and see who comes out on top in terms of loot. Now, just a disclaimer, this series is not meant to show what boss is better money in the long run. This is sort of like a mini challenge video that heavily relies on RNG and a short sample size. So in this episode, we are going to be putting RuneScape's newest bosses, the Rex Matriarchs, up against their old school counterpart, the Dagannoth Kings. We will be doing 1 hour of each boss and comparing the loot at the end of the video and see who wins. I'm super interested to see how the newest boss's loot turns out, and the Dagnoth Kings have been pretty buffed in loot prices since you need all their loot to make the new rings that were released with the Matriarch. I think this is going to be a pretty close battle, so let me know in the comments if you're on Team Dagnoth Kings or if you're Team Matriarchs. Make sure to like this video if you enjoy this series and subscribe for future videos. I have more boss battles episodes up on my channel in a playlist in case any of you want to see the older episodes. So without further ado, let us meet our competitors. First competitor is the Rex Matriarchs. Newly released just 1 day ago on April 19th of 2021, the Rex Matriarchs are 3 powerful female Rex dinosaurs that were enhanced with powers by Kurpak. They are the spiritual successor of the Dagannoth Kings. Like DKs, they are weak to certain styles and weaknesses such as stab, fire spells, and arrows. Now they sit at a whopping 190,000 life points, and all 3 attack you with different styles and different special attacks. Now in terms of loot, we want to look out for the new special hearts that are used to upgrade the original DK's rings into the new Stalker, Reaver, Channeler, and Champions rings. We also want to look out for the spear parts from the new Tier 82 halberd weapon, Laniakia's Spear. And of course, we want to look out for each of the new eggs that will grant you the new Matriarch pets. Moving on, we have the Dagnoth Kings, one of RuneScape's original bosses dating back all the way to 2005. Now, the 3 Dagnoth Kings are located on Waterbirth Island and stack up at 35,000 life points each, and also fight you with 3 different styles: range, magic, and melee. They also are only weak to certain styles and follow the combat triangle, just like their competitor, the Rex Matriarchs. In terms of loot, Dagnoth Kings drop all 4 combat rings: the Seer's Ring, Warrior's Ring, Berserker Ring, and Archer's Ring. They also drop Dragon Hatchets, which go for a decent chunk of change, and also Dagnoth Bones, which add up. Now, these rings have gone up a lot in price since the Matriarchs have been scheduled to come out, as you need 10 of them to make the newly released rings. I think this boss battle is going to be super close, so let's get right into it, starting with killing and looting the new Rex Matriarchs. Alright, so we started out at the Rex Matriarchs, and I hadn't killed these, of course, because this was on release day, and it took me a little bit to figure it out, but basically I went with a tribrid setup because of course you have to use all 3 styles, and when I first went I used a Ripper Demon just because I was, kind of confident, and it turns out you really don't need a yak. You're not going to eat too much food because there are plenty of times that you can just go and soul split. There were some mechanics that were really annoying that in some of these clips I don't know how to deal with, but I'm much better at them now after, doing them for a full hour, and I honestly kind of like them. If I would rate them, I would say they're kind of like kind of like Dagannoth Kings, but if you compare it to the difficulty of QBD or God Wars 2, it's definitely, harder than DKs just because these things have about 6 times the health as Dagannoth Kings, but it's kind of similar. There's a little bit of mechanics. It almost feels like a Slayer boss, I would say, which isn't a good or bad thing. I don't really mind either way. It's not like a high-level boss like Rocks or anything, but I think this is content that a lot of people can do. You don't have to be super skilled at PVM to do these, but all in all, I just really enjoyed them. Like I said, it was a little tough at first to, get started, but once I got the hang of it, it was pretty easy. And also, the drops weren't that bad. Like, for how fast you kill these guys, the normal drops, I would get a lot of grimy toad flax, I would get adrenaline crystals, salvage. It wasn't crazy good drops, but it was pretty good. And as you can see here, we do end up getting a rare drop after I kill this matriarch right here. And it ends up actually being the Heart of the Warrior, which says it is 1.4 mil, but this is used to upgrade into one of the new rings. So it says it's 1.4 mil, but keep in mind this is release day that I'm doing this, probably about 12 hours after release, 15 hours after release. So we ended up putting this bad boy in the GE, and I just guessed. I just put 9 mil, and I ended up being pretty close and ended up selling for a little bit over 10 million GP. So that's pretty good, I would have to say. We did get lucky with the drop, but it actually sold for more than I thought. And if we look at the normal loot here, I ended up getting 1.6 mil cash from normal loot as well. And our normal loot comes out to 15.5 mil. So without that rare drop, we would have made about 5.5 mil. Of course, you got to minus supplies and stuff. But with the drop, we made 15.5 mil in an hour. So how do you guys think it's looking for the Dagnoth Kings? I honestly think they might have a chance, seeing as a lot of the rings have been going up a lot in price. And also Dagnoth Bones, Dragon Axe. I think the Dagannoth Kings could have a chance to beat the Matriarchs, but it was honestly a really solid hour by the Matriarchs. And now we're going to move on to the Dagannoth Kings and see what loot we get there. Alright, so next up is the Dagannoth Kings. Now, I haven't been here in quite a bit. I did do a loot video on these guys, which is on my channel if you guys want to check that out. But it's been a while since I've done them. I definitely have not done them since the Matriarchs were announced. So the drops have gone up a lot, specifically the rings, just because you do need a bunch of the rings to make the new rings. So a lot of the rings were pretty much worthless before, and now they're decently priced. I think maybe like 500k each, which with how common they are, that's pretty good. So we went there and I had my same setup as I did at Matriarchs pretty much. I did have magic notepaper to note the bones and the hides because I don't have the Fremnik Sea boots, so it was kind of click intensive to note all the bones and hides. But after a while I started using area loot because it was easier. And right here we get a dragon hatchet, which actually has gone down in price, I think, maybe from all the people doing DKs, but 1.1 mil. I think it used to be like 2 mil, but that's still not bad. We end up getting an archer ring a little bit later, which is about, says it's about 400k or so. I think it sold for less than that, but honestly, it's not bad because they're just so common. And I know before they're like 10k, so any jump up from that is really good at DKs. And we actually ended up here getting kind of a double drop. We got an elite clue and a warrior ring at the same time. And warrior ring says it's 250k, and I think it actually sells for more. It's just so nice that the rings aren't worthless anymore. And we actually got another dragon hatchet here, which that's pretty lucky. We did have a really lucky hour, I feel like, in terms of how many drops we got, because now basically all drops at DKs are good. And here's another archer ring, and I believe we did get another dragon hatchet that I forgot to get on recording, but that's 3 dragon hatchets in 1 hour, which is really good. So we ended up getting 3 dragon hatchets, 1 warrior ring, 2 archers ring, and a mud battle staff. And I ended up going and selling these in the GE just because I wanted their price to be accurate, because the money pouch price, GE price, isn't accurate for some of these. Like as you'll see here, the warrior ring actually ended up selling for, I believe, 500k. And then the archers rings weren't selling for some reason. I'm not sure if the new archers upgraded ring kind of sucks, but they did sell for 250k each. And I believe the warrior ring sold for about 500k, and the mud battle staff just wouldn't sell, so I just took it out because I think I can alch it for more. But yeah, we got 4 mil from those uniques, so you know, not too bad there. And then if we go and look at the normal loot, we add in our rare drops, which got us 4 mil, and then I tried to pick up as much as I could: the spine, the farseer helms, the skeletal, and of course the hides and the bones go for a decent amount, 4.6k, 3.7k each, so pretty worth picking up. But we ended with 6 million almost, 5.9 mil in loot, which does mean that the Matriarchs beat out the Dagnoth Kings. But if I had not gotten that Matriarchs rare drop, then the Dagnoth Kings actually would have won. I feel like the likelihood of a drop is probably the same at DKs as it is at Matriarchs. However, DKs are significantly faster to kill than Matriarchs. I think I probably killed around, well, as you can see by the bones and hides, probably about 175 or so DKs, and I killed 44 Matriarchs. So you can definitely kill DKs a lot faster, but if you do get the rare drops from Matriarchs, they are worth significantly more. So all in all, I really like the new boss Matriarchs, and I, you know, enjoyed going back to DKs and facing their counterpart. So all in all, I think it was a good video. Like I said, Matriarchs won, DKs lost, sadly. Let me know in the comments, who do you guys want to see battle out next in boss battles? Leave a matchup below and I just might make it into a video. But yeah, make sure to like the video and subscribe. We're getting closer to 10k, which would just be crazy. So subscribe if you're not subscribed, and I will see you guys in the next video.